It's looking a little bit not the greatest for the current energetic trajectory and where that may lead. Hello, and welcome to your Energy Escapades Tarot card reading, where we don't just look at the energy of what's going on, we see what we can do to improve the energy of what is going on in your situation. So for this particular reading, what we're taking a look at is you have your King of Cups, and you in this situation would be the Queen of Cups. However, you guys are having some problems. There is some problems. There is some sort of toxicity, toxic cycle, some sort of drain on this connection that is causing problems. So I've looked to see a few things, like what you need to know, kind of where this might be going, and then what you can do to try to optimize the energy of the situation, but also what you can do for your own highest good to optimize your own energy regardless of the situation. So I've got a little spreads pulled here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at them. So when I asked what you needed to know about this situation, what came out was the Nine of Swords. I think the person that you're involved with, this King of Cups, they seem like they are really struggling as far as they're just in their head about this. They're worrying about it. They're really, really concerned. And the two main things that seem to be concerning them at this time, you've got the Seven of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles, I believe, things that they've been investing in, this could be their job. This could be, like their home. This could be something, it's something that's tangible that they've been spending a lot of time and investing in, and it's possible that it's not going the way that they want it to go and hoped it would go, and it's just really weighing on them. So that is one thing that is really on their conscious mind, weighing them down and causing them to worry and stay up and struggle with sleeping and just nightmares galore, just like a lot of issues with this. And the other thing is the Queen of Pentacles. So I think, this person, I get the feeling that this is probably you, the viewer. You probably have this Queen of Pentacles energy, where you're very nurturing and caring and, someone that they could build a home with. But their home and the things that they're trying to build already is struggling. And the combination of all of it together, they're finding it really stressful and overwhelming, and it's weighing on their mind a lot. I think you needed to know that this is something that they care about, and this is something that they're worried a lot about at this time. So this is not a card of not caring. This is a card of caring a lot, too much. This is a card of being they care so much that they're struggling to even focus on what they need to focus on and be able to do what they need to do. So they definitely do care, but they are struggling. And I pulled on the most likely outcome of this situation based on the current energetic trajectory. So what that means, current energetic trajectory, the most likely outcome, that does not mean this is set in stone. This does not mean it is immovable or unchangeable. Energy is extremely malleable. Some things are almost destined to come to pass, but those things are really quite few and far between. Most of these things are very malleable and subject to change. But I had to get that disclaimer because it's looking a little bit not the greatest for the current energetic trajectory and where that may lead. So I get the feeling that they're going to be so stressed out that they're going to withdraw. They're going to pull away, and that might make you feel abandoned. That might make you feel like they've ghosted, that they don't care, that they're ignoring you. It's going to be this balancing act, because they've got so many burdens that they're carrying. And I think you're going to struggle with some of these burdens as well. Like, you're going to feel the impact of that. And some of these burdens may even be your own, but you're going to feel the impact of these burdens, and really just struggling to juggle everything that is going on. But I think that the outcome is that you're going to feel left out. You're going to feel abandoned, which is not what you want, right? Nobody wants that to be what they're looking forward to. Nobody looks forward to being left behind or abandoned or ghosted or anything else. So once I saw that come out, I started looking to see what can be done to optimize the situation, to improve things, and just improve the situation in general. So the cards that I pulled, this one for this particular pull was what you, the viewer, can do to optimize the energy of the situation. Now, to be clear, optimizing the energy of the situation does not inherently mean that you will get what you want. So it doesn't, like, optimizing the energy of the situation does not equal how do I make this go the way I want it to go and not become this. You know, like I said, there are some things that they're just bound to happen. And that can be that relationships do have to go through certain difficulties and certain breaks and stepping away from one another. Sometimes that is the destiny of the relationship. And that can be especially true for relationships that are more spiritually inclined and spiritually significant. Again, not always. There's no hard and fast, solid rules about any of this. But when you do have those really strong connections and counterparts, sometimes they do have to go through things to get to where they're going to be and where they need to be. And you can't avoid every single unpleasant thing just because unpleasant things are no fun, right? So when I say that this is what can be done to help optimize the energy of the situation, it means that this can help get it optimized for where it needs to go, not necessarily where you want it to go. Okay. I feel like I'm having to clarify. I just want to be clear. Just trying to be clear on this. So in this situation, what I got was the Knight of Cups, which is the action that you can take to try to optimize the energy of the situation. So the way that I'm seeing that is that you are approaching the situation mindfully and respectfully, but like you are also still relatively open in presenting your emotions and your feelings to this person. But at the same time, while you're presenting your emotions and your feelings and moving forward in the connection, you are still keeping an eye out. You're being watchful. You're being mindful. You're being a little bit guarded, but you're open, but you are aware. And so you're not like pouring your heart out, right? You're not just like dumping all your feelings onto this person, but you're available and emotionally available. That's what we like in relationships, right? So you're presenting your feelings to this person in a mature way, and you're keeping in mind where you want things to go. So I think when you speak to this person, you want to be honest. Like, what do you want and need in a relationship? Where are you wanting your relationship to go? Do you want your relationship to, be a very serious thing? Are you looking for a serious relationship? Are you looking for just something a little bit more casual, more fun? I get the feeling it's probably more serious, but you need to be honest with your feelings, but in a way that is mindful and respectful of the situation in general. So again, you don't have to go up and just like word vomit out all of your feelings and I love you, we're meant to be together forever. Don't don't do that, right? But there's nothing wrong with approaching them with this emotional availability, with this openness, letting them know how you feel and letting them know what you want and what you need in a relationship. I think that's important regardless, because you need to be able to stand up for what you want and be true to what you want. And then just keep, be mindful. Keep an eye out, watch, be curious, observe. You still need to be in that state of observation because things are still very new and they're changing and they're still in flux. It's not settled. So watch, observe. Now, relationships are great and fun, but we are much more than just the relationships that we are involved with. So I also pulled on what you can do for your highest good. And in this situation, or in general, like, what can you do for your highest good? And so in this one, I got the moon, the wheel of fortune, the page of pentacles. So the way that I see this is things aren't clear. You know, it's not certain what things are going to be, how they're going to unfold. But regardless, you need to trust the path and keep walking the path, even with the limited light that you can see. And you can trust that there is divine protection, there is divine guidance along this path, even though you can't see it. You are being divinely guided if you listen to yourself, to your intuition for that guidance. So make sure that you're meditating. Make sure that you are taking time to listen inward and feeling what is coming up for you. You want to be able to feel your own emotions towards things, but then you also want to be able to just tune in to your spirit team. Find the best way for you to tune into your spirit team, be that walking in nature, meditating. Everybody kind of has their own way of doing it. But find what allows you to really tune in and listen to your divine guidance. And then I think you need to focus on something practical. And you need to remember, because this card also came up for you and your highest good, you need to set your sights on who you want to become. Independent of, I mean, relationships are great. Again, yes. But who do you want to be? Who are you? And I want you to focus on that, especially if it's giving you, gotta be careful on YouTube. Can't show too much of the card art. But you see that? It's a star. Yeah. So, see what makes you feel renewed, what makes you have that sense of hope and feeling refreshed. What is it that brings those feelings up for you? And look into your future. Focus on what makes you feel good, what makes you feel renewed, and then take practical steps towards making that happen. Take practical action steps towards realizing who you want to be. So I want you to think about what is one thing that you can do for you, for yourself, that will move you towards who you want to become. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but just one small step. If you want to share it in the comments, I'd love to know. But what is one small step that you can take that will start to move you towards your end goal of who you want to be? So that's what we're looking at right now. Things are very much in flux. They're very, you've got this going on where you've just got to trust the path, even though you can't see where it's going to lead. And I know that's always scary. It is. And it's not always fun. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it leads to things that are hard. But there's always lessons to be learned, and there's always ways to grow. As long as you continue to look inward and focus on yourself and see what is unearthed. Like, as you're going through these difficult trials and difficult times, see what's coming up for you. Explore the emotions that come up and the thoughts that come up with the emotions. Journal it out. You can do EFT tapping to help explore those. Just look and see and learn. Life is a journey of learning. And we go through all these things to help us further ourselves on that journey of learning. And there are some things, one other thing I got from this card is that there are things that can be forced, and there are things that you just have to allow to unfold. And I think that this is a situation where it would be for your highest good to allow things to unfold. You don't have to grab everything, control it, and force it. And this is one of those things that everybody, mostly yourself, will be better off if you can just allow it to be. So I hope that helps. Have a good day.